Hope you aren't scared of heights, because this could be your next survival game obsession. Hey people, voice talking to you, and today we're talking about Forever Skies, an open world survival crafting game set high above an apocalyptic Earth. If you'd like to download this game for yourself or see my full playthrough streams, there are links to all of those down in the description. Earth has always been plagued by devastating wars, excessive pollution, and other side effects of overpopulation of human beings. Eventually, this culminated in the emergence of a great sea of toxic dust. From this pollution emerged mutated viruses that multiplied in the dust and forced humanity to the edge of extinction. Those who could afford it fled the Earth to orbit, while the unfortunate survivors left behind are forced to live atop crumbling skyscrapers in a desperate attempt to escape the dust. Sometime later, the deadliest disease from the smog, called the Grey Plague, has somehow broken out on the Ark space station, once again threatening our species with annihilation. We are a brave scientist who joins the second expedition back to Earth. Our goal is to uncover what happened to the first expedition and complete their mission by discovering a cure for the Grey Plague. Now that's already a pretty impressive story for a survival game, and both the story and the gameplay are probably going to give you a lot of the same vibes from Subnautica and Raft, so I'll be referencing those games quite a bit. That said, the surface may as well be the bottom of the ocean to us, so navigating the skies above the dust will require a ship of our own. Fortunately for us, the last expedition left behind a single functional airship. This will be our home and mobile base for the duration of our mission, which could be the rest of our lives, considering I have no idea how we could conceivably return to space at this point. Anyway, we have some freedom in how we build out and upgrade our ship. With the right tools, blueprints, and materials, we can expand our vessel as well as add and upgrade engines and turbines. Kitchens, living quarters, greenhouses, laboratories, refineries, and storage are just a few of the uses for our modular base. The building system is easy and intuitive, if just a bit limited in scope and scale. Designing and building your own custom airship is really satisfying, and there's nothing more rewarding than relaxing warm and cozy inside your flying home while a storm rages just outside your windows. Eventually, we can even paint our ship with different colors and patterns to suit your style. This is exactly the kind of game where I spend way too much time building out my base just the way I want it. And it's entirely possible there's already a 5-hour stream of just me customizing my ship, but that's just a rumor. Of course, before we can build anything, we need materials and blueprints. Blueprints for both construction and crafting can be obtained by using our wrist-mounted scanner to analyze technology left behind by the last expedition and previous settlements. Remember, we're scientists, so discovering lost technology, researching it, and using it to our advantage is our best chance of survival. In fact, the primary incentive for exploration is to unlock new blueprints and upgrades to craft, each making our journey just a bit easier and allowing us to overcome new obstacles and reach even more distant towers. This research and upgrade loop is very similar to Subnautica, and it's a very satisfying method of progression that ties the game's environmental storytelling with functional mechanics. But we can't make something from nothing, so the second major mechanic of Forever Skies is scavenging. While there's certainly a few valuable resources scattered around the ruins that we can snatch up, the bulk of our materials will be acquired through extraction. Our suit is equipped with a gauntlet that allows numerous tools to be fitted to our wrist, the most useful of which is our extractor. This high-tech laser dismantles items made from useful materials and adds those materials to our inventory. We can zap the floating clusters of plastics or metal carried aloft by the wind, cut our way through the walls of a settlement, or even collapse entire skyscrapers by extracting their metal scaffolding. Sorry guys. While the sound effects for this are very repetitive, the process is satisfying enough. When I first played this title in early access, the wrist extractor was a mid-game item we didn't discover until later. Now, the deck extractor is the later version, but I'm glad to say this giant mounted laser is still just as fun to use. Soaring through the air and blasting passing debris like a door gunner is awesome, and with a squad of players working together to shoot and fly the ship, it probably feels even better. Now, the one major downside to exploration is that it can become highly repetitive. While the various towers available for us to search are different from one another, and interesting enough, they can also feel very empty, and if you search several of the same kind, you're going to be seeing the exact same layout over and over again. That said, this game is also absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. The gloomy, lonely interiors of ruined tower settlements are pitted with rust and crawling with vines. As horrible as the idea of a world covered by dust might seem, the dust itself is one of the most visually stunning aspects of the game. It isn't just gritty brown dirt, it can be red, blue, or green depending on the biome, and it shifts in color as the time of day changes. This was one of those games where I found myself stopping every once in a while just dumbfounded at the sight of a colorful sunrise cresting over the dust or a gloomy, overgrown tunnel deep beneath it. Look at that! Combine that with the incredible wind and weather effects and the stellar ambient soundtrack, and I'd say Forever Skies is actually on par with the kind of vibes Subnautica is famous for. Seriously, the devs knocked it out of the park with the atmosphere. From the chittering cries of distant gargantuan insects to the teeth-rattling crash of lightning striking nearby towers, this title can cross from white-knuckled anxiety to pensive darkness to glorious inspiration in smooth, elegant motions. Funny, there's gargantuan insectoid monstrosities swimming through the air, and lightning is the thing I'm most afraid of. I cannot overstate how great this mysterious, changed world looks and feels. If you don't step out on your catwalk to admire the incredible color palette across the skies, you're missing out on one of the best parts of this game. As beautiful as this new Earth is, it is a strange and dangerous place for humans. The viral strains multiplying in the toxic dust have twisted and mutated life into new and fantastic forms. Dust moths flock together to feed on floating synthetics, nests of metal-eating flies will attach themselves to your ship, armies of monstrous insects prowl the surface, and enormous bugs the size of whales swim through the skies. What is that massive form? That looks like a tail. Is there something down there? Oh my god, it's like Subnautica all over again. I'm gonna pee my pants. These new species of plants and animals are fascinating and can certainly be useful to us. From simple food crops to ink, oil, medicine, and much more, we can capture insects with lures and grow our own plants to produce what we need. Eventually, we can even isolate the viruses within each species and use them to create medicines or powerful boosters to improve our stats, such as increased lung capacity or faster movement. With the right gear and access to an elevator, we can eventually embark on dangerous expeditions into the Underdust, the smog-choked world beneath the clouds. Down here, we must constantly monitor our air supply or risk suffocating in the toxic atmosphere. We also have to worry about the mutated fauna that now call our old world home, so being armed as well as prepared is crucial. This will become increasingly important as we begin battling against Earth's new rulers to explore their territory and eventually hunt them for resources. Combat is tense, but nothing special overall. Even on hard mode, the player can take quite a few hits before health damage actually becomes an issue, and that's without armor. So as long as you keep your distance and don't get cornered, chances are you'll come out on top. There are a few gimmicks to keep things fresh, like special ammo and traps, but mostly I wouldn't say you need them to win. Unsatisfying combat isn't unusual for survival games, and it isn't the focus of this title either, so I'd say it doesn't really detract from the experience. Besides, not all the bugs we meet are bad. In fact, we can even get an adorable pet buggo that will accompany us on our adventures and carry items for us. Yes, you can pet the bug, and also dress him up in little clothes and watch him sleep. He's literally the most adorable bug I've ever seen, and I would fight a demon with my bare hands for him.
Printing complete.
This is Buggo. Isn't he cute? I made him a little baseball hat. Oh my god, he's so cute. If anything happens to him, I will kill everyone in a 3-mile radius. Every time I think I've seen everything this game has to offer, it opens the door to something new. It isn't always the most rewarding or varied, but it's always exciting, and it feels like you're the first human to ever see it. This is a game that clearly has the heart and souls of the devs in it, so if you enjoyed Raft or Subnautica, like exploring new worlds, or just want a fresh new survival experience, then I'd gladly recommend Forever Skies. But then again, I'm a sucker for survival games, and I'm just the voice in your head, so how do you feel about Forever Skies? Does this world feel fresh, new, and worth exploring, or does the lack of procedural generation seem too stale? Does this game stand out on its own, or does it feel too similar to its inspirations? What are your theories on the dust and the lore here? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm always happy to talk with you. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like or a comment helps me out a ton, and I'll even let you pet Buggo. Ah, you're so freaking cute. If you want more, subscribing is the best way to support the channel and keep new content coming your way because I put out new stuff every week. Thanks so much for listening to me today. You'll be hearing from me again real soon. Wait. Listen. Oh god, that's so cute. Oh my god, that's so cute. Oh my god.